to him in terms of like getting in a cold swimming pool, right? Like, I'm not talking about cold plunge. Like most people never really acclimate to cold plunge. I'm talking about just like, you know, it's in the summertime, dude. It's 100 degrees outside. Pool's a little cold, all right? You get in, you're like, oh, you're like, it's cold in here. You look around, you know, everybody's like looking at you, you're like, fuck. And then like you get in the water, right? And then 3-4 minutes later, you're like, I don't even notice it.
You can jump in the water.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you start and that no matter what you choose, no matter if you choose the easy way, that's going to lead you to losing, it's going to lead you to frustration, that's going to feel comfortable. But if you put in just a little bit of time, like a little bit of time, and when I talk about a little bit of time, I don't mean a day, I mean a few months of your time, okay? In the big scheme of things. Getting uncomfortable, you will eventually find yourself in a state of comfort in this thing that you think is uncomfortable now, which will actually produce an entire different life, and you'll be just as comfortable as you are doing nothing. And that's like the hard thing to get people to understand is like once you're acclimated, it's the baseline of it is automatic, right? Like the true champions, and you know this way better than me, but like the true champions, that baseline is established, and then they try to push.
Always push.
Yeah, but the baseline doesn't erode.
No.
Which keeps them at a much higher level than most people just by breathing, right? And most people will never put in the time to let themselves become comfortable with the discomfort to where it becomes automatic.
Yeah, and that's the key, what you just said. It's about the time. They want things now.
Yeah.
All right. They're like, you know, you come in and they're like, you know, give me a 6-week program. Well, I'll give you a 6-week program. That's just a prerequisite.
Yeah. You gotta do it the rest of your life though.
Yeah. that's just a prerequisite. Sure.
Right.
We give you a 6-week program. We give you a 6-week program. We give you a 6-week talk. We give you whatever. But that's just a prerequisite. You know, when people talk about this, and you know, everybody in this room is gone through this. And when we talk about different levels of winning, I talk about, you know, what is your price of all in? When people come up to me, man, I'll do anything until I tell them what my definition of anything is. Or I ask them what their definition of all in. And people come in and just say, you know, oh, I'm a hard worker. I get up early. I stay late. I do all that. I said, that's not all in. That's a prerequisite.
Dude, that's the base.
That's
That's
like,
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the base.
Yeah. That's just like everybody in this
That's
room.
the price of admission to the entry level version of success.
Yes.
Everybody's working that hard. Everybody's doing those things. Now we have to push further.
Yes.
Well, we talk about this with our team, Andrew. You know, it takes 42 days of development of habit to even start to see the progress of success, whether it's in a weight loss journey, whether it's in a success journey. And it's not making the list harder and harder. So if you're doing your 5 things, like my 5 things every day, I have to work out, I have to track my food, I have to read 10 pages, I have to have some sort of reflection time, I have to have family time. I have to prioritize those things. Not half in, not half out.
No, because if you don't prioritize them, it's not happening.
Yeah, and it's on the front side of the bell curve, you know, those, and I don't have to add more to the list. I have to prioritize the things that get me moving in the right direction. And I have to use the power of compounding interest, which is daily. I have to stay disciplined to the process daily to get myself into a point where I can buy into the success. And it takes 40 days, it takes 50 days.
Yeah, but what you find after that 42 days, what happens after that?
Then you start to see success.
And it goes, what? Slower or
It's
faster?
going to start to speed up. It's
Yeah.
compounds. And I think that's the piece of, you know, getting comfortable being uncomfortable, right? It's just development and discipline. And what happens when you break it? Now you're uncomfortable because you broke the habit. You
Dude.
break the routine.
I think part of the problem is too, man, is like we always heard growing up that 21 days for a new habit, 21 days for a new habit. 21 days, that might be true. There might be some science behind it, and there is. But that 21 days is not like, that's not the habit is you now. That's like the beginning of a new habit. Like that's the start.
That's just the start of your foundation.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just.
And it's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah.
It's definitely a win. But everybody, listen, what we forget to do is we forget to consistently work on our foundation. You know, those are your principles that you said here. This is what I do. That makes your foundation so strong. So if anything else doesn't work, because anything else is not controllable. You control those things because the rest of the things that are going to happen in the day are uncontrollable. If your foundation is strong, your foundation is solid, it's something that you do every single day. You can't control the uncontrollable, but what it makes the uncontrollable easier to manage, because you always have this foundation that this is my principles, these are my cores, this is what I do. But what happens is you didn't start with 5. Everybody talks, but it's like when you had the New Year's resolution come in, or you had the workout system come in. Everybody says, okay, they've been, and you talk about this, Andrew, all the time. At the beginning of the year, you haven't worked out all year. You've been eating like shit. You've been drinking. You've been doing all the different things, and then all of a sudden, a date on the calendar switches, and you says, "I'm gonna go work out 3 hours a day. I'm not gonna eat this food anymore. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna do all this. I'm gonna do all that." 3 days later, you're done.
Yeah.
Because you didn't build a foundation. You didn't build a foundation. And if you did build a foundation, you built too much. You put too much weight on that foundation. Like you start off with one thing. Hey, this is what I'm going to do. Then you add number 2. Then you add number 3. Then you add number 4. Then you add number 5. After you know the foundation can handle the first thing, then it can handle the second thing. Then it can handle the third thing. That's how you stack your wins.
When you were talking about the building the foundation, another thing too that I can add to that, because I agree with everything that you're saying. The other part of that is that when you, like, so many people feel so uncertain, so out of control, right? Like they feel like even successful people, and dude, I know that you've probably dealt with this a million times with athletes. They feel like their world can be crushed at any given moment, right? Like something can happen, and it can. Things do happen, like, you know, sometimes your world can collapse all at once. But by building this foundation, you're creating a scenario where you are consistently doing these things that other people are not doing. And because other people are not doing it, and because this is a competition when it comes to terms of success, what you're doing by continuing to build on this foundation is you're actually creating security for your success. Because the uncontrollable things that come in, if your foundation is strong, those things are not going to likely crush you. And even if they do crush you, and let's just say you lose your business, you lose your fucking sports career, whatever, if you continue to operate on that standard where you're building the space every day, continue to push, you're going to be right back where you were before you know it, because the momentum never really slows down. And this is why I'm such a big proponent of looking at it as, you know, a daily thing. You know, this is not, so I feel like so many people misunderstand and overcomplicate how, because dude, winning is really fucking simple. Is it easy? Absolutely not. But it's very simple. And we overcomplicate it by looking at it as like over the course of our life. You know, it's kind of like that saying, if you take care of the pennies, the dollars take care of themselves. Well, if you take care of the days and you win the days, your life's going to look like a win when you're all said and done. And so if we could just get people to understand that's how it really works, because before I had ever done anything of significance, which I still don't feel like I've done that much significant stuff, but like, dude, you know, we've done some things at this point in my life. I always thought there was more magic to it. I always thought there was more mystery to it, and there was more there were secrets that people weren't telling me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it can't just be do your shit today and then do your shit tomorrow and then do your shit the next day. And if you do those things and you keep doing those things, your life is going to turn out exactly what you plan it to be. Like, it can't be that. Except here I am on the other side of that thinking, and I'm telling you that's exactly what it is. And so many people have a hard time understanding that in the beginning, because winning and being a champion, because like, dude, let's be real. Like, you guys like me and you we don't exist for getting by. Like,
no.
Like, you have to be someone who has a mindset of dominating or kicking ass or winning at a high level to really get our content anyway. And so when we really break this down and you think about how it really works. You know, the reason it's so confusing to most people is because they never get to meet a real champion in real life, ever. Like, think about that. Like, you're surrounded by these people all the time. I am too at this point, right? Like, I don't even have conversations with people that aren't doing it. Neither do you. Okay, like everybody I know, everybody I personally text with, you know, they're either a cleaner or they're close to being a cleaner. They're on their way to being a cleaner, right? Real talk. And so we're so immersed in it now that it's like obvious. It's like, oh, okay, well, this makes perfect sense. But, you know, it's hard to get someone who's never been around it at all, or never even known one single person. Because I remember, dude, dude, we didn't grow up around fucking people with Ferraris and shit like that, like, or whatever. Like we grew up around like working class electricians and construction people. And so, like, you know, I used to be mystified when I would see like somebody that had like when our buddy had that Mosler, remember? And they had these exotic cars and this crazy shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck do you do this? This is crazy. And then, but the reality is it's not crazy at all. It's just very simple formula that you have to repeat every single day.
It's crazy to think that you can't. That's what I'm saying. So you brought up two interesting points that I want to.
Like, I wish I could just inject people with like some reality of that.
Yeah. Well, you have. You have, but people aren't. that injection hurts.
Yeah.
That injection hurts. All right. So here's the thing that you said. People are, they're looking for their wins, but what they forget that winning is looking back at them, and it's a stare down. It's a stare down. Winning's looking at you and wants to make you blink, wants to make you turn into a different direction. It's like literally a face-off in an MMA fight or boxing where they're going back. They're going back at each other. They're going back at each other. And like winning knows exactly what you're doing, what you're looking at, and so forth. It wants you to blink. It wants to force you into it. It wants to force you in a different direction because it wants to see how worthy you are. So it's literally a face-off. It's a face-off. And the other thing that I want to talk about is when you talked about having that foundation, and when things do crumble, it's you can get back. And I always like to give real examples. Hell, this is a fucking real AF. So I like to give perfect examples. Before you set it up for 7 years, I was bullshitting around and so forth. Then I got really, really serious. Andrew, imagine 7-8 years ago, if you would have tore your shoulder up back then.
It would have ruined my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
If whatever you were just recently going through.
This Thursday,
What is it that you want?
I want to go back to when I thought everything would work out for you. What if you could revisit your past and tell her it over? Oh, feels exactly like your friend that night. And change your future forever. That's wonderful, isn't it? A big, old, beautiful journey. Rated R.
How does human service stack up against automated service? Pretty well, actually. Human service, not automated phone trees. Just another way Pacific Source Health Plans goes beyond what's required.
There are many ways to say I love you. My favorite, here's your Kohl's Cash.
20 years is a lot of love. All month, enter for a chance to win Kohl's Cash and shop the Customer Appreciation Event now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com.
Welcome to a vacation that's so much more with Norwegian Cruise Line. Tear it up in Jamaica one day, jam in Aruba another. But there's more! All day and all night. Experience more with Norwegian. I love more.
Yeah.
Imagine that if you didn't build the 7 years of the foundation and people think, oh, I won't say things crumbled for you, but they got extremely difficult.
Yeah.
But those 7 years of constantly building that foundation, stacking that win every single day, staring it down, doing something that was uncomfortable. When that shoulder hits you, and that other element hits you, like you said, if it was back then, you were done.
Yeah, there's no question. And guys, you guys, just so you understand, Tim and I talk about this personally. Like he knows about this whole scenario and everything we talked about. But dude, I think about that. Like like between the time. So for those of you who don't know, I totally destroyed my shoulder. I had a full shoulder rebuild. I had the injury September of 21. I had the surgery in December of 21, and it's been it took me an entire year to really be able to lift again. And during that time, you asked like, what would have happened? Here's what would have happened. Because I was in the best shape I'd ever been when I got it. All right, and I'm not far off from that right now. I'm probably by the end of this round, 75 hard, I will have surpassed that, in my opinion. What would have happened?
Let me change that. It won't be an opinion, it'll be a fact.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be humble.
Yeah, fuck that. Don't try.
You motherfuckers are gonna see.
Yeah. We're not trying a new recipe here.
Yeah,
that one don't taste as good.
Yeah, all right. I respect that. You're one of the two men I'll take some direction from.
Yeah.
I like that. So anyway, motherfuckers, I'm gonna be more jacked and tan than you ever fucking saw me before. You did 75 days. All right? You quote me on that shit.
Yeah.
But what would have happened, bro, is I would have 100%. What would have happened?
He would have been at Billy G's, which is a local bar. He'd been drinking. He would have eaten.
Well, how much weight do you think I would put on?
50, 60?
I would have been +3.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
I would have said you go from 270 to 320.
Yeah, I would say I would be in a 320 range. I wouldn't be full 350, Andy, but I'd be 315, 320. And I'd be walking around being like, I just hurt my shoulder, fucking fuck me up. And I'd be telling all the bullshit.
Oh,
You
bullshit.
should be able to throw
Yeah.
football over the mountain.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But the real win for me, the real win, dude, was that the surgeon that did it, Dr. Nathan Mall, great dude. He's like, look, this is a 9-month surgery for a pro athlete. So my